It's a new dawn.
Yeah, there it is.
A new day. It's a new life.
For me.
For me? Whoa. Look at these.
Whoa, I'm feeling good.
Look at these birds flying in the sky. So very high in the sky are they.
Okay. Enough
that
of that.
they make me feel so good.
Hey guys, we in. What's up? Welcome to the Chris and Kyle show. He's Chris, I'm Kyle. You ready? You feeling good?
Why'd you have to say that?
Because I'm feeling good. I literally ask you if you're feeling good every episode. It just only was weird this one time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because now it has a different context.
Yeah. From now on, I'll have a different context. Yep. Yeah, you are feeling good though.
Not really, but
oh jeez. Oh man, this is gonna be a fun one.
Yep.
All right. Do you need to talk about it?
I mean, that's what the point of the podcast
Oh,
is,
that's
right?
Yeah.
But the point is not to be interesting or entertaining. It's for me to. This is basically my new therapy.
It's therapy. Yeah. Just talk to the camera.
I'm like Kanye. He said that like his music was his form of therapy. Like,
what happened?
The audience was I don't know. Maybe it didn't work. Maybe he didn't.
Oh, that's what happened. It's a horrible form of therapy. Jesus.
Maybe you should have
go get a real therapist.
Went to therapy.
Do you wanna do a little writer's corner to start?
Yeah, sure.
All right.
Writer's corner is going to slowly turn into you talking about your writing.
Are you sure? Because here's my report. I have not written in a week.
Yeah.
And you want to know why?
Stopped? Why?
I got Spider-Man.
Oh, because you got Spider-Man? That's why
I got Spider-Man and I've done nothing else. I got Spider-Man on PS4, which we'll talk about. I want to talk about later. I want to talk about the game.
Okay.
But yeah, I have not written in a week.
Well, that's Writer's Corner.
Yeah. Well, okay, wait a minute though.
Okay.
You haven't written either, I'm assuming?
No, I haven't.
Okay, what can we learn from this? There's got to be something that we can take out of this.
I don't know. Like it depends on how you want to rationalize it, you know? Because we didn't write because we're lazy. Because I've had this entire week off.
Mm-hmm.
I've had no reason to not write other than whatever is keeping me from writing. Whether it's laziness or fucking
the barrier that is sitting down at your computer and just doing it.
Mm-hmm.
Which in the end is what I feel like it comes down to is just smashing that barrier.
Yeah.
Just sit down and do it.
Yeah. But like that, but that barrier can take a lot of different forms. Mm-hmm. It can just be, well, fuck, I just don't want to do it today.
Yeah.
You know, like I just want to sit down and play Spider-Man. Or it can be
I made
like,
that conscious decision several times this week where I came home and I was like, all right, what do I want to do? Oh, I got to get some writing in for the day. And then I would look at my brand new PlayStation 4 that I got as an early Christmas present.
Fuck it.
And I was like, Spider-Man is so good. I have to keep playing it.
Yeah. That fuck it mentality is not good in that sense. But it can also be, well, like, what do I have to offer the world? Well, nothing. So I'm not going to write.
That's rough.
You know, like, yeah. So it can manifest it
to
self, and you can justify it, rationalize your own behaviors in whatever way that you want to. But the banality of just sitting down and
doing
putting words to paper.
Yeah. There's like a week left, I think, as we're recording. I don't think either of are going to hit the number. I was on pace. You
also have like 25,000 words.
Yeah,
right?
I'm over 25,000. Well, yeah, because like a week ago was the halfway point, and I was on pace. But now I've taken basically a whole quarter of the month off. So
that's a shit ton of words, dude.
Yeah, it is. It was really good. But I'm trying to think, would I have to do double per day now to catch up, I think? Maybe in the last week I'd do like 3,200 a day. That's hard. Because I only have written that much one time. One day I wrote 3,500 in a day.
Right.
Other than that, it's been around the goal number.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I don't foresee hitting the 50 before the end of the month, but I'm not discouraged really by it.
But can you hit 40?
I don't know where I'm at. I'd have to look. I probably could hit 40. And the other thing, I saw an author on Twitter tweeting about this. They were talking about how just because the goal is 50,000 doesn't mean that the book is 50,000.
What does that mean?
Basically, your work isn't done at the end of the month anyway, so you shouldn't treat November 30th or however many days are in November.
Like, oh, finally.
I did it. I'm done.
Yeah.
Yeah. You should. In the end, you're trying to write something, and
Mm-hmm.
the end goal should be to write something, not to hit November 30th and stop.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's kind of thing to lean on a little bit. So yeah, that's Writer's Corner. We did it. Not really. We didn't do it. Is the moral, I guess. Do you want to talk about stand up a little bit?
Yeah, so I did my first open mic, and Kyle came with me, which I didn't think that you were going to come with me.
The first one, I had to go to the first one. I won't go.
But I also
I won't go to the next one.
And
But
this is another reason why I didn't really want to talk about it on the podcast either, was because I know that it's going to suck.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
it's the nature of open mics.
Yeah, and it did. It sucked, and
it sucked.
Yeah, and yeah, there's nothing else to really talk about. You know, the going stand up's really fucking hard, and beyond it just being hard, I just legit couldn't fucking remember any of my set.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, fucking been dealing with the fallout of that. I think that's the hardest part of stand up. I don't think that it's actually everything that's on the stage. I think that it's everything off the stage
in the past couple days
yourself.
since you went?
Yeah.
You've been dealing with the fallout of it.
Yeah.
That's interesting, because right when we walked out of the club, you were really excited.
I was really excited for a certain reason.
Mm-hmm.
And I knew that it was going to suck.
Mm-hmm.
And it's I knew that there was going to be pain. You know, it was I can't even come up with a metaphor to describe it, because I knew, I was oh, okay, I bombed, and fucking now I'm gonna have to deal with it.
I've experienced bombing,
which I'm glad that it's happened, but now I'm forced to deal with the emotional fallout of it.
Mm-hmm.
And dealing with the just the should I even be doing stand up?
Mm-hmm.
You know, trying to decipher whether this is actually good for me if I do have a potential in stand up comedy, or if I'm not even the type of person that should be doing stand up
Mm-hmm.
comedy. You know,
well, because there's a lot of different forms of comedy. There's a lot of different ways to be a funny person.
Mm-hmm. True.
We talked about this. I've mentioned that I can't see myself doing stand-up. I just don't. One, I don't have any ideas for it. Mm-hmm. So that's out of the question from the beginning. And two, I just don't think that my sense of humor would translate well. I think I'm a pretty funny person. In general, you know, I think if I have conversations with people, I can make people laugh. Mm-hmm. But I don't know if my sense of humor would translate well to stand-up.
Yeah. I don't think that I feel like I have all of the ability in the world to be a good stand-up comedian. I think that my greatest downfall, my greatest flaw as far as approaching stand-up comedy is my ability to memorize information and to memorize an act. Because I know that I'm a good speaker. Mm-hmm. I know it sounds really stupid because it was fucking high school, but in speech class in high school, amongst my peers, I was voted the best overall speaker and the funniest overall speaker.
Damn.
So
accolades.
As stupid as that is, I mean, it's a small sample size of me knowing that I can speak well in front of people. Mm-hmm. And I don't think that I don't have the ability to, but I'm not sure if the environment is right for me.
It's weird. That was one of the things that so we went, not only did we go to your open mic the first night, but a few nights before we went and watched one just to sort of, get the vibe of it. And it's a weird environment. It's very difficult. I can see why stand-up comedians get so discouraged and kind of, there's this sort of tropey idea of what a stand-up comedian is. It's not, one of the things I talked about as we were leaving is I don't know how to be the right audience for an open mic. It's its own sort of experience, is even being an audience member for it, and how to participate and how to be encouraging to the people on stage, because you don't want to see people bomb. I mean, I'm sure there are people that think it's funny to see people bomb, but that's being an asshole. You want to see people go up there and be funny and have a good time, and you want to laugh. You want them to make you laugh. You're at a comedy club. You don't go there to not laugh. Right. But I mean, the first night we went, there was like a really rowdy group of people, and they were clearly been drinking, and they were very they're like derogatory, kind of, maybe would be a word. I don't know if that's the right word. They were like the opposite of encouraging.
Right. Well, there's a lot of people that will show up to open mics and expect like not an open mic show. Like if you go to an open mic being like, oh, everyone's gonna suck here, then you might enjoy it more.
Yeah.
But like open mics, like everyone there fucking sucks. That's why they're at the.
That's
open
why
mic.
they're doing open mics, or they're people that are good at comedy, but they're workshopping new things.
Yeah, they're workshopping
so they haven't
new things,
been refined yet.
Or they've been doing open mics for so long that they're approaching that threshold of maybe, they're gonna start like
actually booking gigs.
Yeah, and. Yeah, but like not only the environment, like the physical venue of it, but the environment of stand-up comedians. Like I have, like since I've bombed that open mic, I was like, I've been watching nothing but fucking YouTube videos of stand-up comedians talking about their worst time bombing, and fucking watching a lot of Paul Provenza's Paul Provenza's Green Room, where he just brings on a lot of stand-up comedy comedians, and there's just so much like, man, I don't fucking think I want to spend time with these people, like certain people.
Yeah.
But then there's like other times, like there's certain people like the Dimitri Martins and the Dana Carveys who just don't seem like they're weighed down by that like really cynical point of view that you see in a lot of stand-up comedians. But
yeah, it seems to be a running trend through stand-up comedies that people are very cynical,
which I'm not opposed to that style of stand-up comedy. Like it's so in this, like I listened to Roseanne Barr on the Green Room, and those who don't know the Green Room, it's just a bunch of stand-up comics who are just like sitting on like couches in the middle of a room, and there's like a huge audience around them, but they're all like talking about stand-up comedy, politics, whatever.
Yeah, I've seen the Bo Burnham one.
The Bo Burnham one's really good. But Roseanne Barr like said something along the lines of, she was like, "Fuck hope." Like she just said that, and I was just like, that's so fucking sad. Yeah. And I was like, I don't know if I want to spend a lot of time with that. But like immediately after that, she was like, she said something, she was like, and this was from a while ago, but she said, I think that we should stop praising symbols of freedom and start actually going after freedom itself. Which I was like, oh shit, that's something I completely agree with, and I completely align myself with. Like, that's something that's really, that idea is like manifested in like the Colin Kaepernick stuff, and kneeling during games, and that's it. Literally, like the idea of freedom versus freedom itself. Yeah, that you have young African Americans being shot down by cops. And they don't have the same freedoms as everyone else does, versus, the other side who are like, well, you're not standing up during the national anthem, which is our symbol of freedom. so yeah, like I just like I'm constantly like going back and forth and being super insecure and like that just feeling of just complete and total fucking worthlessness and just hating myself and
Is that why you played Minecraft for like 4 hours yesterday?
I just really wanted to play Minecraft. I just really wanted to play
Shout out
Minecraft.
Minecraft's a good game.
But like, so we just did our spoiler episode on Creed 2, and I talked a lot about how like I went into that movie not feeling good about myself, and like I cried 3 times during the movie because it hit a lot.
It hit the emotional.
It hit home.
Yeah.
It hit home for me. But there was a certain point. Shit, I already lost my train of thought. There was a certain point after Adonis's first fight with Victor Drago, and Adonis talks about, or I think Sly is talking to him about no. Fuck, I'm trying to put it all together. Adonis is talking to Bianca, his fiance, he's talking to his fiance, and he's saying like, he's talking about why he fought the first fight and why the second fight is different, because he takes up the fight against Victor Drago again, even though he got his ass beat the first time. And Tessa was like he apologizes for the first time, and he's like, I'm sorry that I put you through that. And
she's like, why do it again?
Bianca's like, why are you doing this right now? And he was like, it's different because I'm doing it for a different reason this time. And he was like, you make music because
you couldn't breathe. He
was like, you wouldn't be worth anything to anyone
if you didn't do what you love.
Yeah. If you didn't do what you love, like if you didn't do it, you wouldn't be able to breathe. And I was like, oh fuck, like that's why I need to do whatever, and I get so caught up in like, how the fuck are we going to pay rent after I don't have college? If I don't have the, my post 9/11 GI Bill, is all of this just a mistake? Should I just stayed in the Navy? Like I'm just constantly having those thoughts running through my head 24/7. And yeah, like just hearing that, like I was just like, I mean, it's as tragic and fucking like, as much as I like feel like I'm just being cornered into a fucking wall and being like, oh well, it's either having security and like just hating yourself for the rest of your life, or complete insecurity, and you might be homeless and fucking, but you might maybe be happy. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
I like that line a lot in that movie.
Yeah.
If you aren't doing what you love, you're not worth anything. I vibe with that. I think we both do. I think that's yeah. You wanna talk about something different?
Yeah.
I want to talk about Spider-Man, the game.
All right.
Because I beat it. So maybe I'll start writing again now that I beat it. Maybe, or I'll just play all the side missions until I 100% that game. Marvel Spider-Man, the video game that came out this year, 2018. Super good. Oh my god. Okay, so I love Spider-Man, the character of Spider-Man, and I think that there's, and I think this goes for a lot of comic book characters especially. There's this sort of, something can be very Spider-Man, just like something can be very Batman or Superman. You know what I mean? And this movie is so Spider-Man, it's not even funny.
Video game.
This video game, the video game called Spider-Man is so Spider-Man. It taps into the spirit of the character and so well, but it also spins things on its head a little bit, to be fresh and unique in its own thing. And I think Yuri Lowenthal's performance as Peter is super the whole cast is really good. If you don't think of video game voice acting as its own art form, then get out, because I literally cried playing this game. I literally cried at one point playing Spider-Man on PS4. Like, that's silly to cry playing a video game, but I did. because the story's so good. But yeah, I just I don't. You watched some parts with me. You weren't there the whole time I was playing it, so you saw some of it. My favorite things were probably, in terms of just gameplay, I love swinging around New York City. It's super dope.
Right.
It's just really well done and really fun. And it's cool because a lot of times you'll play video games where, you know, you have these like missions where it's like you have to get here in a certain amount of time and defuse a bomb or something, and it's like that's not fun. But in Spider-Man, it's super fun because you're swinging around and it's dope. I really loved the incorporation of Miles Morales, and it kind of put me on edge throughout the game because Miles' presence made Peter feel less safe to me. There were periods where I thought Peter might die, and they might switch me over to be playing Miles.
Oh, okay.
Because he was in the game,
Right?
just knowing that Miles is another Spider-Man made the game a little bit more dangerous to me, and that was really fun. My favorite thing about the game is the relationship between Peter and Mary Jane. Like, I would literally be playing through those scenes and going through the plot of the game and, you know, fighting supervillains and then being like, I'd beat, the Shocker or something. Be like, all right, where's my next Mary Jane scene? I got to get to the next scene where Peter and MJ are talking. Because I was so invested in their relationship and them sort of figuring it out together throughout the game. And I think it all speaks to the potential for video games as a storytelling platform, which I think is underrated. I think the immersion that you get when you're playing a video game helps a lot with that. Really makes you like I was literally walking around downtown San Diego telling you like how I felt like in my head I was like I need to click right trigger and left trigger to zip up to the top of that building because I was so like invested in the idea of what I was doing and the feeling of it and feeling like I was Spider-Man and I was Peter Parker. And at points throughout the game, I feel like I am Mary Jane because you do these Mary Jane like sneak levels, which I saw a lot of people online before I played it that were like, these levels are like, I don't like them. They're really hard. I was actually really good at them. I don't know why.
At the stealth missions?
For some reason, I had a knack for the stealth missions. I don't know why. But yeah, I
feel like the big set pieces where there was a bunch of people shooting at you were like that's where you were.
Yeah, it was horrible. And I was playing on the easiest difficulty and I was dying constantly. I'm just not good at video games. But yeah, that's my thing. If I'm playing a story game, I'm going to play it on an easy difficulty because I'm not there for the challenge of fighting 12 thugs at a time. Narrative. I'm there for the narrative of the game. Yeah, like I'm going to get Red Dead Redemption 2 and I'm going to play it at the easiest level I can because I don't feel like dying all the time. It's not fun for me when I start playing a level and I can't beat it.
Right.
To me, it's just stopping the progression of the narrative and not. I don't see it as a challenge to overcome. I see it as a hindrance to the story. Like I'm not getting to the next part of the story.
Right.
I mean, I've always been the type of person who likes just watching people play video games because they're usually better at it than me and can get through the narrative quicker.
Right. But a lot of people don't.
No, a lot of people hate watching video games.
Well, yeah, a lot of people don't really play
or they only play shooters or yeah. But yeah, I think that's more than talking about Spider-Man, which I've basically given my thoughts on already. I just think the idea of storytelling through video games is really interesting.
Yeah, I think that it aligns itself with a pattern that is going to continue to happen through generations. That we already have precedent for. That it's already been existing for a while now. That's like when you have a newer platform for storytelling, it's usually more immersive and less respected than its previous platform. Right?
So like the way TV was to film?
The way that film was to books.
Yeah.
The way that the TV was to film, the way that video games are to everything else, you know, like when you have that newer platform that's brought about by new technology, a lot of people just they don't respect it until they do.
Yeah.
You know, until it
proves itself.
Until there's something that's just so good with that platform. You know, a narrative that's so
something that's so platform. Like undeniably like quality.
Yeah, like same thing with comic books as well.
Yeah.
like because people didn't respect comic books and they're always viewed as these, crackerjack. Not
It was just
important
something in the
things,
newspaper
like
on
fucking,
Sundays.
Well, yeah, but
Comic strips, and then when they made them into books, it was like they're just.
But
comic
even
strips.
fucking Bill Maher, when what did he say? Did he tweet something out?
I don't know. I saw it on Twitter. I think he said it during his show or something. It was something. He was talking about Stan Lee passing away, and he made just a really just dick move comment about. He was like, "What did Stan Lee inspire anyone to do?" And then I forget what he said. Oh man, I've like blocked it out of my brain because it was so just stupid.
Mm-hmm.
It was something along the lines of like, what was inspiring about him? He just like, he inspired people to waste their time basically.
Mm-hmm.
It was the sort of essence of what he was getting at. And it was just like so disrespectful and narrow-minded.
Yeah, I've had like an argument in my head with him for like the past like 2 weeks since I've heard that comment, because like the first thing that I would ask him if I had heard him say that in front of me, I would, like the first thing I would say would be like, is art important? That's what I would ask. I would say, is art important? And I feel like the first thing that he would say would be like, comic books aren't art. I feel like that's probably the first thing that he would say. But I think that he's just a curmudgeon about it.
Yeah.
I think that.
Well, I think that's
really
his bit, right? His bit is being a curmudgeon. So.
Yeah, I mean, and he enjoys being a dick. I think that even if you told him, if you'd be like, well, you're just being a dick, he'd be like, well, I haven't heard that before.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
I think that's what he would say. And I don't dislike Bill Maher. Like, I think that he's really intelligent, and I think that he's funny. But yeah, it's just that like there's a lot of times where I'm just like, oh, you're just being a dick about this. I don't think that you're really going out of your way
being a dick for being a dick's sake.
Well, I don't think that you're really going out of your way to understand this perspective and why people enjoy this so much.
Yeah.
But right, so you have a lot of comic books that are not all comic books are created equal, right?
Yeah, certainly.
You have certain ones that are, just there for, the crackerjackness of it, and I wouldn't say that they're any less important, but like they're kind of just, especially before Stan Lee came around, and you just had, Superman punching a bad guy. But then it evolved into, like Alan Moore kind of shit. The Neil Gaimans of the world took in. They were like, hey, this platform is such an incredible medium for narrative that we're not taking good advantage of. And we can use this to tell really adult stories and to tell really interesting perspectives that we can't do with any other medium. Yeah.
Because you can't experience the visual sense of it through text, through just like a novel, and you can't experience the vastness of potential in a film or a television show because you're constrained by budget. You can literally draw anything with no constraints, except your skill level, essentially, of the artist.
Exactly.
So that's kind of where comic books are able to converge, and maybe they're not the best of either world, but they're the best combination that you can find, maybe.
But I just think that there are specific things that you can do with the medium that you can't do with anything else. So like there's a comic book called Mouse that I really like. It's literally like fucking like handed out in fucking history classes. Like it's a Pulitzer Prize winning graphic novel. I forgot the guy's name that he wrote it and he drew it, but it is basically an not autobiographical, but it's a biographical account of this guy's father's story in going through the Holocaust.
Art
Spiegelman. Yeah. Thank you. But it is gripping, and it is horrifying and incredibly important.
And it is through the guise of mice. All the characters are mice.
It's what is it? Anthropomorphic.
Yeah.
Anthropomorphic
animals with human qualities.
Yeah, exactly. But all of the, I'm pretty sure all of the Jews are displayed as mice. All of the Nazis are played as cats. And if you're Polish, you're
Shout
a
out.
pig, I think.
Shout out to my Polish people.
I think that yeah.
That's offensive, man. Why do I gotta be a pig?
But anyways, like the use of that, of like having animals do this, it puts the Holocaust in a perspective that is actually easier to grasp.
It's palatable,
when you
more
hear,
palatable.
When you hear that number, like millions of Jews died from the Holocaust, your brain can't grasp that.
It can't wrap around.
So when you see it through the guise of animals and like it makes it down to earth enough to where it like shocks you into realizing how awful it is.
Yeah.
You know, because like that's like the only obviously we can hear like millions of Jews passing away and then being tortured and you know the death camps and it's awful to hear and you can grasp that it's awful and then you know say that it's awful, but you don't feel it emotionally until you get like a first hand account of it and you hear like one person's like, oh, this is actually what went on. These are the things that I saw.
Yeah.
And I think that his use of the comic book format was just it's a story that couldn't have been told in any other way. So yeah, like I think that it just exists for all platforms. I think that, you know, certain narratives are good for certain platforms.
Yeah.
And yeah, and anybody that just thinks that a singular medium isn't important because of that, like I just think that they're being narrow-minded.
Yeah, narrow-minded.
And I think that they're being stuck in the old ways of, you know, what they think is important.
Yeah, I think you really see it. If you tell someone over the age of like 30 or 35 maybe about Twitch, it's like
what?
It's like talking to an alien. It's like, yeah, you know, you can do that on Twitch. And they say, what's Twitch? You watch people play video games. And any adult is like, that's a waste of time.
Yeah, how is that entertaining?
How is that something that you can spend your time doing? And it's just people don't fully understand the potential of the medium. And then Twitch is its own medium. Twitch not only takes the narrative of a video game and experiencing the story of the video game, but also ties in the personality and entertainment value of the streamer. So it then becomes its own medium. It's completely different. Yeah. I wonder what's next. Probably AR or VR, whatever it's called.
Well, I mean, those are two different.
Yeah, they're
things,
two different.
But like, I mean, I would say, yeah, that like virtual reality. I think. I mean, I just honestly believe this. Call me crazy if you want to, but I think that there's going to be a time when it's going to be like the Matrix, and you're going to just fucking hack into the reality. And however that happens, whether you have a fucking chip that's fucking contacting your fucking prefrontal cortex and you like just are like, all right, well now I want to be in the Pokemon universe, and then you just fucking go into it. God, or cool. You fucking plug in whatever it is. I get
in a pod.
I don't know. I think that's the future.
Ready Player One style, baby.
I think that technology and biology are going to merge. I think it's the trajectory that's already been happening for fucking 100 years now. Just the fact that we've continually bringing technology closer to us. Everyone has, you know, their most fond form of technology attached to their hip at all times. I think it's going to merge with us. Yeah. However it happens, I don't know. You know, whether it takes the form of, you know, like our consciences moving into fucking robots or fucking like death becoming like the death of our physical bodies becoming
okay, so
something different. Like,
let me pitch this at you.
Okay.
If existence turned into basically you lived your life through a robot, the world out there was all robots, right? And you were in like a pod, like
the movie Surrogates.
I don't know.
There's a movie called Surrogates with Bruce Willis, and that's basically the premise of the movie.
So your normal body is like in a pod, and it's getting its, you know, basic nutritional needs, but you're experiencing life through another body.
Yeah. That's
Do you like the idea of that? Would you want to do that?
I don't know.
Me neither. I feel like I'd have to experience it to know whether or not I would be okay with it.
I don't know, because I don't know. My first reaction is like what? Why would I do that?
Yeah.
I would really suggest that you watch that movie. It's pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
At least the first 2 acts are really good.
Ooh,
When I
falls
first
apart in the third.
Yeah. The first 2 acts, I was like, oh, this has got a really cool premise. I could see like this going in a lot of places, but like it just kind of falls flat.
Mm-hmm.
But in that society, you had like a majority of people who lived through robots, and plus like there was a lot of like catfishiness to it.
Yeah.
As well, because there was like, there's one scene where Bruce Willis's surrogate is talking to another like robot or whatever, and he's like, and she's like a really good looking robot, and he's like, look, lady, I don't even know if you're a woman. Like, you could just be some 40-year-old guy in his basement. But there's also this whole sect of people that are, I forgot what they called themselves. They were like
fleshies.
Well, they're like meat baggers or something like that.
That's even worse.
Yeah, I forgot the name of them, but yeah, they were the people who just espoused that idea of using a surrogate to live your life.
Yeah. I think it's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I think a caveat would be like if obviously the robot would look like a person. That's kind of where all this is based in. Technology gets to that point. But I think if you had the sensory, you could feel things that you can feel as a person. Mm. I think that would be one of the most important.
I think that
if you could experience your senses through the robot, I think that'd be the most important thing.
I think that the lines of reality are just going to be really fucking hard to define, because we already have, simulated realities, right? As fucking elementary as they are, we have, you can right now you could fucking turn on Spider-Man and live in a simulated reality of New York.
Yeah. Dude,
as Spider-Man.
I can go to Madison Square Garden.
Not like, how developed do these simulated realities get? The more that technology progresses, the more that AI progresses, and fucking it can write its own narratives and fucking.
Well, I think it's really cool that there's like fiction that is based in the essence of establishing what life even is. Like Blade Runner. What are they called? Replicants. Is a replicant a person? The game Detroit Become Human deals with the same sort of thing.
Yeah.
Ex Machina. Where's the line drawn of what someone is? I think that's super interesting.
Well, yeah. I sort of brought that up before, like that. I would say like it's 2 different sides of the same coin, right? Like, say if you have a robot that you're endowing with sentience, right? You're giving it consciousness. At what point does that become human? And also on the other side, right? As fucking people are getting, fucking technology put in them, they're getting metal legs and fucking robotic arms and all of these like amazing work with prosthetics and fucking, at what point
are you a robot?
Are you a robot?
Yeah. Or cyborg, whatever the technical term is.
Yeah. Yeah, and I don't know, and I don't think. I don't know. I think it's really interesting.
It's just it's super interesting. I think I kind of sometimes wonder like how far we are from certain technology. Like that obviously seems super far away, but if you look back through history at how quickly technology stacks on itself and makes the next technological breakthrough come that much quicker, it's just when we're super old, will something like that be possible? I don't know. It'd be cool to find out, though. I did not expect Spider-Man to turn into that. That was cool. Play Spider-Man if you have a PS4. It's super dope. Yeah, you like my shirt?
Oh, are you wearing it?
Yeah.
I didn't get the actual fucking. No, I don't like it.
You don't like this shirt?
No, I don't like it, dude. I love Lion King.
This shirt's dope.
I would never wear that shirt.
Why not, dog?
Look, I wouldn't wear that shirt.
Look, I didn't bring it up for you to insult my shirt. I brought it up because I want to talk about the trailer.
Oh, Lion King?
Yeah.
Yeah, there was a trailer that dropped.
Yeah, there was.
Did you think that this one was going to be a full trailer?
No. Now I've learned. It's Disney's. It's their thing now. They're going to release the teaser first. I get it. They're almost all in the same like format, kind of. All the live action remakes of animated films are all like a voiceover with some environment shots, essentially, is what they've become. And
I think a majority of trailers are really formulaic.
Well, yeah, obviously. But the Lion King trailer, it exploded. People freaked out. It came out on Thanksgiving. It looks so good. Like, I'm not talking about the quality of the film or the story because we don't know. It's just a teaser trailer. But the CGI looks so amazing. I couldn't believe it. Mm. It's weird. It's one of those things where I'll watch most things and completely be comfortable with the quality of the CG. You know what I mean? Like, a lot of people complain about the CG at the end of Black Panther. And when I was watching it, it didn't bother me.
Right.
I understand, where you're coming from. I get it. If I rewatch it and I more of a harsh eye on the CG, I get it. But it never took me out of the experience. This movie makes other movies look like some chump animation. It's crazy how good this trailer looks. Mm. I couldn't believe it.
Yeah. And
hearing James Earl Jones again.
I was literally about to bring that up. The only returning voice actor is James Earl Jones, right?
Yep.
And he's the only voice that you hear in the trailer, right?
Yep.
We see Simba.
We see Rafiki.
We see Rafiki.
And we see Mufasa.
And that's like kind of it. Like other than like the antelopes.
You see some like random.
It's almost like shot for shot the beginning of Lion King.
Yeah, it's basically the same.
But it starts off with Mufasa saying like everything the light.
It's the same line. Yeah, it's the same.
But it's not completely the same line. After he hits the everything the light touches part,
he expands, right?
Yeah, it goes on longer. Because he says, as the sun sets, so will my reign on this kingdom or whatever. And then it shows the fucking wildebeest.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh.
And then I love there's a shot of Simba's paw in the big paw print.
Yeah, that's cool.
Oh, that's cool. So good. And then they show Simba at the very end, like adult Simba.
Who is playing Jeremy Irons?
Who's playing Jeremy Irons? You mean
Scar?
She would tell Ejiofor.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Now, one of the bummers...
Who's playing Jeremy Irons? I didn't even think about that.
One of the bummers is, apparently, be prepared.
I saw imagining Jeremy Irons showing up in the Lion King universe. As
he just rolls in. Yeah. No, even better, someone playing Jeremy Irons. That'd be even weirder. Hey, I'm Jeremy Irons. No, you're not. One of the I saw a thing that basically they were the song "Be Prepared." Scar's iconic, probably one of, if not the best Disney villain songs ever. Isn't going to be in this movie, but I don't know if they're not doing music at all, which would be kind of weird because Beyonce's in your movie and Childish Gambino is in your movie.
Right.
Incorporate music, please.
Yeah.
Or if they're just not putting that song in, which seems weird because that's it's an iconic Disney song.
Well, yeah. Or are they going to do like a Jungle Book kind of thing?
Yeah.
Where they kind of flirt with it.
I would prefer if they leaned into it more than Jungle Book because the music from Lion King is so good and their cast is so
musically talented.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. She would tell, I'm pretty sure, can sing as well.
Has he ever?
I think so.
Have we seen?
Didn't he sing in 12 Years a Slave? Because he played a musician.
I don't remember.
I'm almost positive he sang in 12. Yes, because they sang the chants in the fields and stuff.
Oh, I don't remember.
There's a really emotional scene where he sings along with other slaves.
There are really specific things from 12 Years a Slave that I remember, and I don't remember that.
Yeah,
I remember
it's definitely in there.
I remember one of the first shots where they're going through the fields and all of the leaves are hitting the cameras, and I was like, how the fuck did they film this? And the one where when he was hanging from the tree and it just lingers on that shot for 8 minutes.
Yeah. That movie's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I'd have to look at like all the movies coming out. But if I were to make like a top 5, top 10 list of films coming in 2019, this movie would be near the top.
Wait, was Chiwetel in Rent?
Maybe, I don't know. Maybe. I got you.
Oh fuck! I think that he was.
I know Jesse L. Martin's in Rent, the guy that plays Joe West on Flash.
Oh fuck! Is that who I'm thinking of?
That would be weird. Taye Diggs, Rosario Dawson, Jesse L. Martin, Idina Menzel. I don't see Chiwetel.
Damn, I'm racist.
Yep.
Why? Okay, whatever.
Anyway. Yeah.
It's a fucking incredible cast.
See, off the top of my head, Childish Gambino as Simba, Donald Glover, not Childish Gambino, Donald Glover as Simba, Beyonce as Nala, James Earl Jones returning as Mufasa, Chiwetel Ejiofor as Scar, Billy Eichner as Timon, Seth Rogen as Pumbaa. Who's playing Rafiki? Oh, is it the dude that played the T'Challa's dad? I think. In Captain America 3 and Black Panther,
right?
I think is Rafiki, maybe John Oliver is Zazu. That one's good. That like some of them you're like I can see how that's gonna work. Yeah. Like you know what I mean. Like when I hear Seth Rogen as Pumbaa, I get super excited.
Yeah.
When I hear Billy Eichner as Timon, I'm like, you couldn't get Nathan Lane back.
I think maybe like
I like Billy Eichner.
Yeah.
I think he's really funny. And he's got his bit where he screams, and I can see how that will play as Timon. I get it, but Nathan Lane is so good.
Maybe like they were just trying to be like, okay, James Earl Jones is going to be the only returning cast.
Yeah, if you're gonna get James Earl Jones back and not Jeremy Irons, that seems like because James Earl Jones has one of the most iconic voices of all time. He's Darth Vader is the main one, and
so
he's
does
Scar.
Jeremy Irons.
But that's what Jeremy Irons also has an incredible voice.
Yeah.
But I'm over the moon excited for this movie. Like I loved Jungle Book, Jon Favreau's Jungle Book, and I'm way more excited for this. Like, if anything, Jungle Book was like coming out, and I was like, oh, that's cool. It looks really good. It looks beautiful. And then it came out, and I was like, oh, this is a really good movie. Now he's doing the same thing with Lion King, makes me even more excited.
Yeah,
I'm hype.
I think it's gonna fucking make so much money.
Oh, it's gonna make
so
all the money.
Yeah.
Whatever record Disney broke this year or last year about, they made over $1 billion in a year at the box office or whatever. They're gonna break it again next year with Avengers 4, Captain Marvel, Lion King, Aladdin. They have what Star Wars comes out next year, the next Star Wars movie. They're gonna make so much money next year. It's gonna be crazy. Another trailer dropped. The Lego Movie 2, the second one.
Oh, is that like actually what it's called?
Yeah, that's the full title.
I didn't actually watch it.
You didn't watch the trailer?
Nope.
It's a fun trailer. The best bit in the trailer is that Chris Pratt is playing two characters. He's playing Emmett, which is the character from the first Lego movie, and then he's playing Rex Dangervest, which is this he's portrayed, he's like a badass hero, but the bit is he is just all of the action characters that Chris Pratt's ever played. This Lego has they're like he's a space warrior, and he's a raptor wrangler, and he's an archaeologist because Chris Pratt has been rumored to play Indiana Jones before. Right. And like all the things that Chris Pratt has done, he's a cowboy because of the Magnificent Seven. Like all the things that he's done, this one Lego piece is like known for. That bit was really funny. I think more than anything to say about the Lego Movie sequel is that what a surprise the first one was. The Lego Movie was amazingly good and got snubbed at the Oscars, by the way.
Yeah. What?
Wasn't even nominated.
No, wasn't even nominated
for Best Animated Film, which is stupid.
Yeah. Like out of all of the things that like I'm a pretty diligent watcher of the Oscars and keeping up with who gets nominated and watching the movies and stuff. That like what they've done with fucking like animated movies and who they've nominated and who has won thus far like has annoyed me the most out of anything.
Yeah, well you weren't a fan of Zootopia, not a fan, but you didn't like Zootopia.
I wasn't a huge fan
as
of
much
Zootopia. I thought
as the world did.
I thought that Zootopia was of the same quality as like The Good Dinosaur.
Did you see The Good Dinosaur?
Yeah.
You did?
Yeah, and
You're like the only person in the world who saw The Good Dinosaur.
Yeah, and I didn't. I don't know. I thought Zootopia was just so like ham-fisted. Like I felt like I was like being beat over the head with the themes of that movie.
Mm-hmm. He is in the minority, by the way. Most people love.
A lot of people
movie.
love Zootopia.
Yeah.
And that's fine.
I love Zootopia.
But another one, fucking Wreck-It Ralph.
Yep.
Absolutely loved Wreck-It Ralph, and I thought that it should have won that year.
I can't remember what it was
Brave.
up against. Oh, I've never seen Brave.
Brave won.
I've never seen Brave, but I want a slap bet over it.
You want a slap bet?
Remember the slap bet from How I Met Your Mother?
Yeah.
I made a slap bet with our friend Paul about Brave when the trailer came out. We were watching the trailer came out. We watched it, and I said, "I bet you that her family turns into bears." And he said, "There's no way in hell that you could know that from watching that trailer." And I was like, "Yes, I could. I bet you that it happens." He was like, "What do you want to bet?" I was like, "You let me slap you." And what happened in that movie? Her family turns into bears. I didn't slap him hard.
I thought Brave was just kind of meh.
Okay.
It's really meh. I like Zootopia more than I liked Brave.
Okay.
But Wreck-It Ralph I thought was so fucking creative and
yeah, Wreck-It Ralph's
fun.
awesome.
Yeah, but yeah, the Lego Movie not even being nominated.
It's crazy.
This is fucking insane.
Yeah, it's nuts. Yeah, I'm interested to see how they approach the sequel. What I kind of have an expectation of them to sort of twist things on their head a little bit, because in the trailer, what's her name, Lucy, Elizabeth Banks' character, Lucy gets kidnapped. And I was kind of surprised by it. I was like, that seems like
too cliche.
Yeah, it's very cliche, and I fully expect them to twist it on its head somehow.
What are their names? Christopher. What are their?
Chris Miller and Phil Lord.
Yes,
or Phil Lord and Chris Miller. I switched their first names. Yeah.
Are they doing the second one?
I don't know, but I'll find out. They're confusing to follow because they've been on and off so many projects. They were on Solo and off Solo. They were on Flash and off Flash.
Yeah.
I can't keep up with what they're working on.
If they are involved, then like I have full confidence in them.
They're not directing it. Mike Mitchell and Trisha Gum are the directors, but they did write the screenplay.
They did write the screenplay. Mm-hmm. Okay.
There you go.
All right.
Full marks. Good work.
What?
Good work, Lego Movie, keeping them involved.
Yeah, for sure.
They're great. They'd made Spider-Man into the Spider-Verse. I know that.
Wait, what?
Yeah, that's them.
That's them?
Yeah, dude.
Are you serious?
Why do you think I'm so freaking excited?
I didn't know that.
Yeah, dude. I don't know. Because you're an idiot?
Yeah.
Because you rely on me to keep up with those things and tell you about them?
I think so.
Yeah, dude. That's them. Now you got me like second guessing myself, and I have to make sure because this is public record. So if I spout improper information, I can get blamed for it. Yeah, hold on.
Which it makes a lot of sense. They wrote it?
Wait, only Phil Lord? Only Phil Lord is on here as a writer, not Chris Miller. That's weird.
I don't know. They didn't direct it?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, they're too busy to direct everything.
True. But at least he's involved, so that's good. And everything that I've seen thus far, like even if they weren't involved, like I'm still.
Oh, Spider-Man into the Spider-Verse? Yeah, that's another one of my most hyped movies.
Yeah.
Doesn't come out in 2019 though, so it wouldn't make the list for 2019 most hyped movies. Comes out in like 3 weeks, and we will do a spoiler episode on it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You have any more movie or TV or anything like that? Anything like that, or do you want to talk about sports a little bit?
Nope. Let's start with sports.
All right, I'll let you pick.
What?
Do you want to talk about Markelle Fultz, or do you want to talk about the Wizards?
The Wizards?
You don't want to jump. We have to talk about the Jimmy Butler as the NBA takes and the NBA gives. The NBA takes away the first dramatic storyline of Jimmy Butler demanding a trade, and it gives us the dramatic storyline of the Wizards potentially blowing up their team.
Right. Okay. Well, let's talk about the Wizards because we never talked about the Wizards before.
Yeah,
I
okay.
feel like we're
too focused on the Sixers.
Yeah, because the Sixers are so.
There's
interesting.
always something. There's always something going on.
They have the best young core as well as Markelle Fultz, and that's so weird. And I'm such a huge fan of them already. We talk about them too much.
Okay.
Even though I have, no, I don't have Markelle Fultz down on my list. But let's talk about the Wizards. So, the Wizards are the worst version of the Portland Trail Blazers. Would you agree with that?
Okay. I actually think they have more talent than the Trailblazers do.
Really?
Who plays at the 3 for the Trailblazers? Not Otto Porter Jr.
Evan Turner?
Not Otto Porter Jr. He's a max player. He's on a max contract.
He's on a max contract?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they extended him last season.
I thought he was only he was making in the 20s.
Oh, maybe he isn't. Still, he's like highly paid.
I've heard that he doesn't have a max contract, but it's like right underneath.
Okay, yeah, he's on that B level or whatever. Still, he's a high quality player as an individual player.
Right.
And then they have Dwight, but his butt always hurts. He never plays. But like I think.
But do you think
John Wall and Bradley Beal versus Damian Lillard and CJ McCollum should be a push?
True. That should be a scrum. That should be like really. But I don't think that it's the difference there is like, okay, this should be right, but it's how they play, right? You just looked at that stat the other day.
You want to say that stat?
Yeah, go ahead.
John Wall, last season in 41 games, was credited with 1 off-ball cut. That's crazy.
The dude doesn't do anything when he doesn't have the ball.
Move off the ball.
Like in a half-court offense, when you are that athletically gifted and like that
talented,
and he's also been around the game for so long.
Yeah,
you would think that because even someone like Alonzo Ball, right?
Not Alonzo Ball, a Lonzo Ball.
Yeah, a Lonzo Ball character. So he's super young, but he has a high basketball IQ, and he makes a lot of off-ball cuts, does a lot of good things for his team, setting screens, cutting to the basket and stuff like that, because he knows the game better than a lot
and
of
you can affect the game so much
guys.
more. When your shot's not falling, and you can't get to the rim, you can still affect the game when you do those things.
Yeah, and when you're a John Wall. Not a John Wall, but when you're John Wall, it negatively affects your team's offense in the half court when you aren't moving and you're just kind of standing in the corner with your hands on your knees.
So I didn't know all of this stuff about John. I mean, I think the national perception of John Wall has always been just that he's a really good player.
Right.
He's an all-star level point guard.
Right.
Very fast.
An elite point guard.
Yeah, very fast, very gifted ball handler, very gifted.
One of the most dangerous men in transition that you have in the NBA.
And the knock has always been sort of, in terms of grand scale, what people know about him, the knock is that he's not a great shooter. I didn't know about all of which apparently this has been sort of a thing in Washington, D.C. for a few years, is the effort level is more of a knock than his shooting. He doesn't put in the effort when he doesn't have the ball in his hands, and he's apparently sort of a selfish... I'm trying to think of... So he hunts assists for numbers' sake more than for winning's sake. You know what I mean? He tries to make his numbers look as elaborate as possible, is a thing that people say about him. I didn't know any of this about him. If you had asked me before the season if I thought the Heat should trade for John Wall, I'd be like, hell yeah, John Wall's awesome. Now?
Not sure.
I don't think so. I don't think I'd want him, especially on he has a huge contract.
Right.
He's a max player.
Yeah.
And it's just like... Can you afford to pay someone that much money and then not put the effort forward to winning games?
But on that team right now, like their greatest asset is Bradley
Beal for sure.
And they came out last week or 2 weeks ago.
Last week they said everyone's available.
Everyone is available.
Blowing it up. That I'm so interested in if they end up trading either Bradley Beal or John Wall, where they end up.
True.
So interested in it.
Yeah, and I'm constantly evaluating what the Orlando Magic are going to do, because they are someone who needs a playmaking point guard. But
You and the Suns,
that
the Magic and the Suns are like the most point guard needy teams in the league in terms of needing a starting point guard.
and I don't know if either of those teams would actually go for John Wall.
I don't think the Suns would for sure. I don't think he fits their timeline, really. I mean, he's already around 30.
True. Okay. I can see where you're going there.
Yeah.
I would have said
They're still tanking.
true.
12 years later, they're still tanking. The eternal tank.
Yeah, and I don't know what the plans for the
Magic are weird, and the Magic are winning is the problem. So
right now they're winning.
Even if you think of them as a tanking team, they're doing a bad job of it.
Right.
They're playing a little too well.
But I don't know if John Hammond is like, all right, well, fucking let Aaron Gordon and Vucci play really, really well, which is something that they've done. I saw a side-by-side comparison of fucking Vucevic's numbers this season versus Jokic's, and he's like beating him in every fucking thing.
Even assists?
Dude, not assists.
Okay, because that's Jokic's thing.
Yeah, he's like an incredible passer.
Yeah.
But like Jokic started off the season so hot, and there's a lot of games where he'll like kind of be invisible.
Nikola Jokic, the center on the Denver Nuggets.
True.
Who literally had a game where he didn't take a shot until the last minute of the game.
Right.
That's crazy.
But he is someone who doesn't have to take a shot in order to impact the game a lot. But Vucci is someone who has been very, very consistent this season. And
he's a great offensive center.
Yeah.
Really great scorer.
And he has stepped up defensively this season as well. And that's one of the things that I find so confusing about the Orlando Magic's like current situation. I don't want to talk about the Magic. I talk about the Magic.
Yeah, you always do.
But John Wall and Bradley Beal.
I think we can agree that the
else?
best place to send Bradley Beal in terms of hype would be the Lakers.
Right.
He would fit perfectly with LeBron.
Right.
Perfectly. Now, where else?
And they are also someone that could make a pretty viable package of young
Josh
players
Hart,
and picks.
Another, either a Kuzma or a Brandon Ingram and a pick or something like that probably would get it done.
Yeah, I'm not sure how stingy the Wizards are going to be with their package. But even like with the Timberwolves, like as stingy as Tom Thibodeau was, he still didn't get a lot for them.
And he could have gotten a lot more.
True.
Because he waited. And I also think that the Wizards have a lot more ground to stand on because Bradley Beal isn't demanding a trade. You know what I mean? Like he's not playing in games to conserve himself for his next team. And
he is the one asset that's going to get you the most back.
Yeah, and because his contract is more palatable than John Wall's is, and he's a great player. The problem with moving John Wall is how much money he makes.
How much money he makes and all of the issues.
all of these
and the fact that he's not putting in effort. I don't think that teams like that.
Wait, he has off-court issues too?
Well, like a lot of him and Bradley Beal don't get along.
Like he has personality issues. Not when you said off-court, I thought you meant he had like legal problems or something.
No. I don't mean just like when I say off-the-court issues. Yeah, I don't mean just legal shit.
Yeah, you mean like personality flaws, kind of
literal locker room, like
locker room issues.
Engaging with.
Well, I mean, he straight up told his coach to go fuck himself.
Yeah.
He was like, practice harder, and he was like, fuck you.
But yeah, he's also someone who's like I'm a grown ass man. I'm gonna party and do whatever I want. Which is like you're also a professional athlete, and like he's someone who doesn't.
You can, go ahead. You can party and do whatever you want, but you also need to put in the time and effort into your profession. Well, you can do both if you're capable of it.
So he is fourth right now in assists a game.
I'm sure he gets lots of assists. He's an amazing passer.
He's an incredible passer as well as a scorer. I mean, that dude doesn't have to work very hard in order to fucking put up the numbers.
Yeah.
And to be an elite point guard, he doesn't have to work that hard, which like shows you how fucking talented he is.
Yeah.
But like, could he be like an MVP if he did have?
If he put in the effort,
if he was like making off-ball cuts.
I would argue he probably could. I think one of the closest correlations to him is Russell Westbrook in terms of ability, the speed, the explosiveness, the passing ability. He's probably a better passer than Russ is.
Right.
And Russ has averaged double-digit assists multiple times.
True.
And won an MVP award.
Sure. And the one major difference is what? Not, like, because they both even have like very similar ego sets.
Well, that's what I was going to bring up. They had, the ego thing is even similar, and the basketball IQ thing is similar. People knock Russ for his basketball IQ a lot, and the fact that he also doesn't do a lot of stuff off the ball.
Right.
The difference is effort.
That motherfucker.
Russell never
works.
stops trying.
He probably has the greatest motor in the NBA.
Yeah.
Like that dude just. And he wills his team. Like, you can tell how much of a competitor he is on the court.
I hate the narrative, the narrative that the Colin Cowherds of the world try to sell, that Russell's a bad teammate, and that people don't like playing with Russell Westbrook,
right?
Because they consider him like a ball hog or something. And it's been disputed by so many of his teammates. Everyone who's ever played with Russell Westbrook loves playing with Russell Westbrook.
Right.
No player has ever come out and been like, "Oh no, I wish he passed me the ball more," or whatever.
I don't know, man. I feel like I also understand the other side of it, though. Like when I see Russell Westbrook, like, it is selfish of him to take as many threes as he does,
and as many pull-ups as he takes bad shots.
Yeah, he shoots.
There's
as much
no
as,
denying that
he shoots as much as Steph Curry and doesn't
have near as well.
Yeah, and there's a huge part of me that's like, that is selfish. You know, that is, like Paul George should be taking those shots instead of him. But he's also like, this is my team.
Yeah.
I'm the one that's going to be, taking over in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
Not Paul George.
Well, I mean, we've seen historically how bad Paul George is in the clutch, so I get that.
True.
Is that still a thing, that he hasn't made a shot with like less than 10 seconds left in his career? Is that still a thing?
I don't know.
Yeah, there was some crazy stat that came out last year about that, where he's like ungodly horrible in the clutch. But anyway, yeah, I don't know where I can see John Wall going.
No idea.
Yeah, I don't know who would want him and where he'd be of the most use. I think with effort, anyone would want him. But with the stuff that's floating around about him right now, I don't know.
Like, is there...
Like, the problem is that no bad team is going to trade for him. You know what I mean?
No.
A team that is... No tanking team is going to do it for sure. Mm-hmm. They're never going to do
That's
that.
That's why, I mean, I hate to bring it back to the Magic, but I feel like the Magic
would
be a team that, like...
They're one of the most likely. I think, like, the Timberwolves, if they wanted to
I was
still try to make the playoffs this year...
I was about to bring that up, Timberwolves.
Yeah.
Like, but I don't know who they would offer.
Derrick Rose, straight up. MVP Derrick Rose. That boy balling this year.
Yeah, I don't know who they would give up.
I don't know.
I don't know what, and I also don't know
They can just wait the 6 months they have to wait, and then send Robert Covington and Dario Saric.
Yeah, man, I don't know. No idea.
Yeah, I think Bradley Beal on the Lakers is huge. I could see the Heat going after Bradley Beal, especially if they could smush multiple shooting guards into the trade. Be like, because we have like 5 or 6 shooting guards. If they could be like, let's get some of them out of here and bring in one that's better.
Okay. I have another. I just thought about this. The Nuggets. Because you kind of have
the Nuggets could go after John Wall.
Yeah.
Because that's been, so they went on they started 9-1.
Yeah.
And they're like 1-7 since then.
Right.
And one of the big things that I see people talking about on the Nuggets is that they don't have a point guard. Mm-hmm. Jamal Murray and Gary Harris are essentially both shooting guards, and they're just having Jamal Murray play point guard.
And they play a lot better when they have Monty Morris coming in off the bench.
Yeah.
And they also have Isaiah Thomas on the bench too.
Yeah. Is he back yet?
No.
He's still not healthy.
But when he does, how are you going to make those rotations?
Yeah. John Wall could.
But say you're the Nuggets and you offer them
one of Jamal Murray or Gary Harris and
then
some
Isaiah
other
Thomas or Monty Morris.
So like Jamal Murray, Isaiah Thomas, Michael Porter Jr.
Do you think that they would offer them?
I don't know. The Nuggets are certainly a team that has pieces to put together in a trade for a point guard. Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're definitely a potential team. That'd be interesting. I mean, they're already so bad at defense anyway. Who cares if they get worse on defense? They're so horrible on defense.
Yeah.
but they score a lot of points, and John Wall's not going to hurt you in scoring points.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be interesting. And it'd be interesting to see if a different coach in a different culture, in a different system, could get him to play in a different way.
Right.
I don't know.
Because, like, who is creating outside of John Wall for the Wizards?
I don't. Bradley Beal, when last year when John Wall was hurt, Bradley Beal did create really well.
Yeah.
He actually showed more of a fully faceted
Is he, like,
game.
a pretty good playmaker?
Yeah. I mean, more than anyone thought he was.
Right.
I don't know if there's anyone. It's certainly not Dwight Howard. It's certainly not Markieff Morris or
Austin Rivers.
Yeah, he's their backup point guard.
Yeah.
But even then, like Austin Rivers is a score first point guard.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if Otto
So, like,
Porter
maybe,
has
like,
playmaking to him.
Maybe
I'm not
like
sure.
being around Jokic like inspires him to.
Well, and yeah, being around Jokic might get him to want to do more stuff because he knows Jokic can get him the ball.
Exactly.
Yeah,
He knows that it's not going to be
just him creating for
Yeah.
everyone. Yeah,
yeah
that'd
it's not going to be an
interesting.
empty. It's not going to be empty effort.
Yeah.
If he is moving off the ball, he knows that somebody's going to find him.
Yeah, it'd be interesting. Yeah, that's the Wizard drama. I am interested to see if it becomes anything, or if they just kind of ride it out and suck, or turn it around. You never know. They've started slow before. We'll see.
The Wizards.
The Wizards, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Do you not want to talk about Markelle? Are you too sad about it?
I mean, I wouldn't say I'm too sad about it. Because as sad as it is, it's like a semi good thing for the Magic. God, I'm such a fucking
Fan?
yeah. I'm being such a fanboy right now.
So essentially, in the past couple weeks, Markelle Fultz, the last year's number 1 pick for the Philadelphia 76ers, has parted ways with famed shooting coach Drew Hanlon.
Mhm.
That's his name, right? And double pumped a free throw and been roasted online for it. And now has said through his agent / attorney, he's also his attorney, which is weird, that he is not going to be playing while dealing with a wrist injury, apparently, and that he may prefer a change of scenery, that's the killer. The shooting coach thing was weird and kind of sad, and the free throw thing was funny, and the wrist injury is a bummer, but those are all things you deal with.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that he may want to now get a change of scenery is interesting.
Right.
That's the meat of it to me.
And we've said before about how Markelle's development is like him being in Philadelphia on a team that gets so much attention that it's hard for him to develop in the right way.
Yeah.
And that in a smaller market on a shittier team that he might develop a lot better. So since that double pump free throw that he had a few weeks ago, or a couple weeks ago, he has done this like juggling thing in order to get himself over the yips. Because like that's what a lot of people think is happening with Markelle right now, is that it's completely this like psychosomatic injury. The fact that he can't get over his own shot because he's just thinking about it too much. And when the reason a lot of people think that is because when he's shooting off the dribble and he doesn't
natural.
have time
Yeah, he
to
doesn't-
think about his shot, it looks fine.
Yep.
His form looks great. But when he's wide open for a 3, or he has a free throw, like he has time to think about his own shot, there's hitches in his shot.
Yeah.
And it seemed like this juggling thing was something that was like kind of for the positive, I would say. Like
It's weird, but
it looks super fucking strange. Like when he did it, the first game that he did it was against the Jazz, and Jay Crowder, like when he like went in for the rebound for Markelle's shot, like did that and then handed it to the ref. Like he like just bounced the ball. He was like, "What the fuck is going on here?" And it seems like it was like advice by someone to like help him get over the yips. It seems like it's just
maybe
a proactive thing to get him and not thinking about his own shot. And when he was doing it, he didn't have any hitches. I don't know if you noticed.
Yeah, he didn't hitch. He still wasn't making them at a good clip,
No.
but he wasn't like pausing in the middle of the
I mean,
shot.
I think for that Utah Jazz game, he was like 2 for 4.
Yeah.
He's also, so he's not playing right now because of a wrist injury, and he's getting evaluated for that. I don't know. Who knows what's going on with it? I forgot who was it Amari Cooper or somebody?
Amari Cooper on Thanksgiving in the Cowboys game impersonated the juggling thing as a touchdown celebration.
Yeah. Have you seen the recording of Markel reacting to it?
Yeah, it was hysterical.
Yeah, and Markel, like,
I thought it was
he
funny.
rolled with it. Yeah, he seemed like he was really
his whole
funny, so
family
I
was like laughing along with him.
Yeah, so I was like, I mean, this seems like, that seemed like a really good, really good thing.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how you took that. But yeah, I'm super biased about Markel, so it's hard for me to.
Well, yeah, you've talked about how like you feel like Markel's journey is your own journey.
Yeah.
And you would be down if he does want to be traded. You'd be down for the Magic.
Fuck yeah,
trying to make that move. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Because he fits. He fits the timeline. He fits the youth. He fits the length of what John Hammond wants. And
I also
I could see the Magic or the Suns, either team trying to make that happen.
Trying to pick him up.
Yeah. The teams that are both need a point guard really badly, but
are
younger teams. Yeah.
Or at least, I mean, the Suns are definitely they're definitely tanking. But,
yeah.
I mean,
poor Devin Booker
right now.
That dude deserves to be on a winning team.
Yeah, I saw some shit the other day. They got blown out, and he dropped like 30-something points. I was like, oh, damn.
Yeah, it's just a waste. It's like, what's the point?
That's gotta suck, man.
He said last year when the playoffs started, he was like, this is the last time that I don't make the playoffs. I'm tired of not being in playoffs. And I was like, boy, have some realism. Yeah, you are not making the playoffs anytime soon.
Not. Like, if there was one team in the West that's not making the playoffs,
it's the Suns. Yeah, they bad. You have any other basketball stuff you want to talk about? Or sports stuff at all? No, nothing?
No.
I want to talk about football a little bit just because we never talk about football. And I love football. I know you don't really watch it that much, but it's just, I think the past couple weeks there's been some really hype stuff going on, and I just want to shout out Drew Brees. He'd be my vote for MVP right now. Right. And Drew Brees has never won an MVP award.
Really?
That dude deserves an MVP. Yeah. I think the Rams-Chiefs game was insanely dope. I was only able to catch the fourth quarter, or part of the first and then the fourth. We recorded an episode. Couldn't watch the whole game. But that fourth quarter was crazy. It was bonkers. And there's this weird thing now where people talk about how defense has been legislated out of the game of football. And I think that to an extent it's true, kind of. But I also think that defense now has to manifest itself in new ways. Defense has to make it, like, to be a good defense, you don't necessarily have to hold a team to low yardage or even necessarily low points. You have to be able to make splash plays, I think, is the most important thing on a defense now in the NFL.
Like getting a pick six.
Not even a pick six, but turnovers and sacks.
Right.
Like and you have to do getting a sack on first down is not as important as getting a sack on third down. You have to be able to make these splash plays in the right moments that I think are going to define defense a lot more moving forward in the NFL. Your shots. Yeah, kind of. Yeah. And I think the Saints are one of the highest turnover teams in the league right now at forcing turnovers. And I think that if I were to pick someone right now to be my Super Bowl favorite, it would be them.
Be the Saints?
Yeah.
Haven't they won like 10 in a row or something?
10 games in a row. Yes. Yeah. I thought you meant the Super Bowls. I was like, no, you idiot. What?
Yeah, they won 10 Super Bowls.
10 Super Bowls in a row. Yeah, they lost their first game against the Bucks when the surprise of Fitzmagic happened, and then since then, they've won 10 in a row.
That's the one team that they lost.
Yeah, the Bucks. Dude, the Bucks have some crazy stat right now where their quarterbacks combined, because they keep benching them for each other, Jameis Winston and Ryan Fitzpatrick, are on pace for over 6,000 yards passing. They had a game last week where they threw for like 400 yards as a team and scored 3 points because they just keep turning the ball over so much. It's crazy.
Doesn't their defense also suck?
Yeah, their defense is garbage.
Right.
Their offense is really good. They move the ball like crazy. They're a really good passing team.
Cap off the.
Yeah, they're just not good. Trying trying to think if there's any other big football stuff. No, Saints are dope. But we never talk about football, and that makes me sad.
I'm sorry, dude.
You got anything else?
Duke versus Gonzaga.
Oh, yeah.
We should talk about it because we always talk about Duke.
Chris's Duke corner. Chris's Duke corner. Here it is. Chris's real favorite basketball team in the world
is
the Duke Blue Devils. Only the 2018-19 version. No other version will he care about.
I mean, I kind of like the Grant Hill, Christian Laettner years.
Okay. All right. Wait, you like Christian Laettner?
Huh? I
It's just funny because traditionally Duke is viewed as prissy. Is that the right word? Bougie?
Bougie? Duke is bougie?
People hate Duke because they always have this one white dude who's like really good and is often viewed as a rich person who didn't like earn what they have. It's kind of
Does JJ Redick fit that?
Yeah, JJ Redick certainly fits that. He was like the next, he's probably the last one I can think. Well, no, what's his name? Grayson Allen.
Okay.
He's like the most recent one. They don't have that this year.
True.
But it's just funny that that's kind of been traditionally Duke's sort of the way people that aren't Duke fans view Duke.
Right.
And this year they're just completely different.
All right. Well, Duke Gonzaga.
Yeah.
So
this was the final match of the Maui Invitational?
Yes.
Match. This isn't soccer or Quidditch. This is basketball. It was a game.
Yeah. Yeah. It was the finals, and it was a really good game.
Mm-hmm.
Even aside from like a majority of the game, Gonzaga was up by like 15 points.
The first half, Gonzaga dominated.
Yeah. But like even I think there was a point in the second half they were still up by like 16 points.
Yeah.
And then Duke rallied back to make it a really close game at the end.
And to me, that's the biggest takeaway. So Duke didn't win.
No.
Gonzaga, Duke had their first loss of the season, so there goes any undefeated talk or anything like that.
Undefeated, they would beat the Cavs.
Yeah, they would beat anything like that, throw it out the window. But I think that the fact that they got back into the game says more about them than anything else as a team.
Yeah, I think that they have a lot of fire. I like they're super competitive.
Zion and RJ especially are super fiery on the court.
There's a certain point where I was like, is it like to a fault? Because there were certain points that, like even in the first half,
like do they play with too much emotion?
Too much emotion. I was like, are they going to be able to fucking keep up? Because it was just like almost after every play they were just
flexing and screaming
and fucking I don't know, but it was a really good game. It was I would say a good coming out party for Rui Hachimura.
That's number 21 on Gonzaga?
Yes.
Yeah.
And
he played amazing.
And probably the best NBA prospect on Gonzaga too.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think he's the leading scorer on Gonzaga right now, or at least he didn't score as much as their shooting guard did. Their shooting guard's really good. I don't know fucking why the NBA isn't looking into him more. But Rui Hachimura is like 6'8", 6'9", small forward, power forward type that has comps to like Wilson Chandler, which I don't see. I see more Kawhi in him than anything. Like I think that he plays really fucking strong defense. He's got a really wide base when he plays down in the post. The dude just has he's really competitive. And when it came down to
really
making clutch defensive plays at the end of the game, it was all Rui Hachimura.
Yeah, that's why when I came home, so I was at work watching it, so I couldn't pay as much attention. Mm-hmm. But when I came home, I thought he was a center because he was protecting the rim so much. Yeah. So when I came home, I was like, "Who's that center?" And you were
I think he had like 2 blocks towards the end of the game, like in the last 3 or 4 possessions.
Dude, the end of that game when Duke was down 2, I think. They were doing everything in their power to get to the rim. Yeah. And they just that dude would not let it happen. Mm-hmm. It was crazy.
But yeah, I think that Duke's probably going to lose a few more games, especially against really disciplined teams like Gonzaga, teams that have more experience and that have played together for a long time.
It's a type of college basketball team where they play with really good fundamentals and they have very good coaching, and they usually have 4-year players on their team. Guys like teams like Gonzaga or Villanova last year won the championship, or Xavier, like schools like that. those are like the types of teams that are probably gonna have a good chance of beating them.
Right. But yeah, it was fucking really good game. I had a lot of fun watching it.
Mm-hmm. You have anything else besides that sick beat?
Stomp the yard, dude.
Wait, is it actually? Is that actually Stomp the Yard?
Huh? No, I was just being stupid.
Oh, okay. You want to do shout-outs?
Yeah.
Do you want to go first? You want me to go first?
You can go first.
All right. My shout-out is a TV show, an animated show on Netflix. It's a Netflix original. It is called Voltron. You seen Voltron?
Nope.
Dude, Voltron is good. Voltron is a remake of the 80s cartoon. I think it's the 80s. I think the full title of the 80s one was like Voltron Legendary Defender or something like that. New Voltron. Super fun. Very fun show. Really good animation. Fun characters. Characters that start out and they seem like they're archetypes and they become much more fleshed out as the show goes on. That's one of the things I really like about the show is the character development. I think they do a really great job of. It's unpredictable to me. I don't have any connection to the source material. I don't know anything about the original Voltron show. I don't care about it, and I'm not bothered by any if they're super faithful or not. You know,
if there was any deviation
from the original show, I don't care. And I've never seen it, but I would bet money that this is way better. Right. Similar to that new show that just came out on Netflix that people got mad about the costume of She-Ra. I don't know if you saw that, but people were like mad that she wasn't sexy enough or something. It was weird. Have you seen any? You know what She-Ra is?
She-Ra?
She-Ra and the Princesses of Power is the name of the show. It's another remake on Netflix based off of a show that was a spin-off of He-Man. And her name is She-Ra. And they made the trailer came out for She-Ra like a month ago and people got mad at her costume because it like wasn't revealing enough or something. It was crazy. Some crazy nonsense. It's like, dude, it's a show for one. It's an animated show for kids that adults can watch. Mm-hmm. So it's like, you need to calm down. Like if you're going to be mad about the revealing costume of an animated character, you need to figure some stuff out. Like, if that's going to be the hill that you die on. But yeah, Voltron, love the character development, good voice acting, really, really, some really good characters. And my favorite are Shiro and Keith, probably. Very imaginative, very, very good animation. Yeah, it's just really, really fun show. It's the reason I'm cool shouting it out is because it's done. It's wrapped up. It's run. It's like 5 seasons, I think, on Netflix. And dude, shout out to Netflix's animation production. They put out new seasons of Voltron like every 4 months while it was running. 4 to 6 months, a new season.
Is it Netflix or is it like
it's a Netflix original
animation? Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Yeah. But yeah, that's my shout out. Voltron. If you like animated shows, if you like, sort of adventure animation, if you liked stuff like Zoids and Transformers when we were kids, like it's that style. It makes me think of those kinds of shows. Yeah, check it out. I
fucking love Zoids.
Dude, Zoids was my shit.
Like one of the stories is Zoids. I didn't watch the other one. I watched the one with
multiple.
Zeke,
yeah.
And the Liger Zero.
I used to wake up before school every day. I would take a shower, and then I would grab my cereal, and I would go back to my room, and I would watch Zoids and Transformers before school every day.
Yeah.
In like middle school.
Yeah.
That was my shit.
My shout out.
Light Saber Club.
My shout out for this week is my favorite composer.
Ooh.
Max Richter. Richter.
Yeah.
He does film scores, and I found out about him through Pandora, but like back in the day when I used to use Pandora, like I was at Nuke School, and like I put on the film scores like channel or whatever, and then it just popped up, and there was this song that popped up called November, and I was sitting in my car.
Do
I still
you
remember.
remember?
Nope.
November?
Nope. I was sitting in my car listening to this song, and I was like, "This is fucking good." And there was like a lot of like really cool like violins, and the pacing was like really slow. And it just like kept building and building.
Is Max Richter the guy that did Time?
Huh?
Time? Is there a song called Time?
Time? Maybe?
I think.
I don't know. He did an album called Sleep.
Was that what I'm thinking of? I don't know. Okay,
I don't
never
know.
mind.
But so I would recommend the song November. I would also recommend, so he did this really sort of ambitious thing. He made an entire album that's like 8 hours, like 8.5 hours long. That you're supposed to, he made it for you to listen to while you sleep.
And it's called Sleep.
And it's called Sleep. And I bought that album and listened to it over and over again while I was writing Lunatic Fringe.
Okay.
Like to this day, like anytime that I hear it, fucking like when I hook my phone up to my car, that's usually the first thing that comes up is Max Richter's Sleep.
Your phone does that automatically?
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah, when it hooks up to the Bluetooth.
Whoa. The future.
Like sometimes it'll do that. Sometimes it'll play Frank Ocean's Blonde.
Okay. Interesting.
Because like those are like the two things that I actually have on my phone, like in Apple Music.
Oh, gotcha. It's not like going through Spotify. Gotcha.
No. Which I'm not sure if the entire thing is available through Spotify. It was at one point, but there is like a truncated version of Sleep on Spotify called From Sleep, which is like a more palatable, like
you can
an hour
listen to it.
Yeah, it's like a normal album length, like an hour and some change. But yeah, if you need some shit to listen to while you're writing, while you're doing homework, if you just need some shit to meditate to, yeah, feel free to listen to Max Richter's film scores.
Especially Sleep.
Especially Sleep, especially November.
So Max Richter and Voltron. Shout outs. Do we have any announcements? Well, this week's poll episode is up, or gonna be up on Thursday. The winner of the poll was Creed 2. I beat you to the drum roll.
Yep.
Yeah, Creed 2 won the poll. It was very tight. It was like 52% to 48%.
Right.
Very tight voting. Yeah, so look forward to our spoiler episode for Creed 2 this week. And come back next week. We'll put the poll up for December's poll. The poll up for December's poll. Oh, whatever. Words are hard. And we know when we're releasing our first guest episode now. Right?
The actual date?
Yeah. Or the week at least. No, maybe not the right date, but so the week of December 9th, which is a Sunday, that week, we will be releasing our first guest episode. Do you want to tell them about our guest?
Yeah. So we had Adrian Pangilinan on our. I hope to God that I pronounced that right. Sorry, Adrian, if I pronounced that wrong. But he is a buddy of mine that I worked on a project with. I met through a mutual friend. And he is a filmmaker, YouTuber, photographer, and he has a really cool perspective. Yeah, and just a lot of fun.
Yeah, talking with him was awesome. I had never met him before, so when we recorded was me meeting him, basically. It was a lot of fun. We had a lot of cool kind of introspective discussion with him, kind of, I guess. Yeah, so look forward to that in a couple weeks. And, keep checking back in on the Chris and Kyle Show on YouTube and podcasting platforms for all of your entertainment needs. You don't need us, but you want us, right? Yeah, find Chris on the Chris Michael Stott on Instagram and his website, chrismichaelstott.com. Find me at Davinwell25 on Twitter and Instagram. Find the show, The Chris and Kyle Show. Find it on YouTube, all podcasting platforms. Find it on Instagram. Find it on Facebook. Find it on Twitter at tcaks pod. Tcaks.
You said tcaks.
Is that a peacock mixed with a teacup?
Tcaks podcast. Huh?
It's a teacup mixed with a peacock.
Yeah.
A peacock teacup. Teacock.
Let's wrap this shit.
This has been fun. We out.
We out. Stay weird.
Tcaks.